everyone and welcome to my place. A couple of weeks ago I had a request from Badia, and she's in Saudi Arabia, and she wanted to know how to make a simple bouquet with peonies, and she wanted a little bit of lace or a doily or something around the handle, a little bit of string or whatever I could come up with. Well, Badia's come back to me and she said, okay, thank you, Astar, that's exactly what I wanted, but now what could I do for the table flowers? And she wants seriously cheap. She also wants something that looks really visually interesting, it's easy to do and doesn't involve a lot of materials. Well, I have put my thinking cap on and I took myself right back to when I was about 9 or 10 years old, when I used to do paper mache and build animals and bowls and all sorts of things using the paper mache. So basically what it is, and I will show you in due course how to do these because I've got great ideas. It's basically a balloon. You blow your balloon up and you tie it off at the end, of course you do, so it doesn't deflate, and then you just get tiny little bits of paper, and it's just layers and layers and layers of paper until you get something that is really stiff. And as a little wee tip, what I do is I put my oven on to about 120, and in between layers I dry it off in the oven. Makes for such an easy transition. Now the other thing that I've done with these is I've made these bowls here, which I will do something with in due course, but once they get, as I said, once they get to that stage, you know that you're ready to go. Now what I've done for you, Badia, is I've cut the balloon in half, and because we had this lovely lace around the outside, or the doily lace, what I've done is I've just quickly just layered that over the outside of the bowl, and I just used either PVA glue or you could use a bit of Mod Podge. The other thing that I found was these little doilies here, this little crocheted little sleeves, and because I didn't have enough of that lace, what I've done is I've just cut those and laid them. Now I'm not worrying about that there being looking a little bit rough. It's more, to me, I call that sort of like a little bit more rustic, so that's okay. And the other thing I've done is I've just used some strong tea, and I've just painted over the outside, and then once I did that, to make sure that it was properly sealed, I've put a couple of layers of Mod Podge or PVC in the inside, put it in the oven and let it dry off so that it's still got that lovely crisp crunchy look about it. The other thing you could do if you wanted to is you could use something big like this and then just mold that over, but I just thought that this would be fine because you're not really going to see very much. Now the other thing that you could do if you wanted to, just to add a little bit more visual interest over the top of that, I've got these lovely vein leaves. You might not be able to see those, but I really love the delicacy of that of the visual of the leaves. What you could do if you wanted more texture is you could just put those over the top, but really I don't think it needs it. In fact, to be perfectly honest, I just use a bit of chill. Right, Badia, you also asked for what other flowers you could put with it. Well, I've found some hydrangeas. They're not the best hydrangeas in the world, but that's all I've got in my garden at the end of my summer. Now the other thing I've done here is I've just got a little bowl and I've put a little bit of wet foam into that, and that is going to go into my container like so. Now I'm just going to reuse these, so I'll just cut that off like so, and of course I didn't glue it on as well as I thought of should have, but never mind, that'll do. Right, I've got the hydrangeas. I think that the best way forward in doing this arrangement is keep everything short. It's a round container, you've got a round bouquet, so keep the whole thing nice and round and keep all of your materials very short. Now the reason keeping things short means that you're not going to need as many flowers, which is going to help to keep your costs down as well. So as I've said, in everything that I've done along the line, just cut everything to the same length before you start, and it just means that you don't have to stop and start. And once you get into the rhythm of putting everything together, oops, everything's falling all over the floor. Once you get into the rhythm of putting it together, it's just a matter of going bonk, bonk, bonk. Okay, going one into the center. No, stop. Right now we had a big one, so let's bring the big one into the center. And because I'm going to be putting fresh forms in with these, I have used the wet foam, because that is, well, there's two reasons actually. The reason I like to use the wet foam is because it's much heavier and sturdier, and it's not going to fall all over the place. Now that's a bit too long, so cut that off. See what I mean by cutting everything and getting it right before you begin? No stopping and starting. And I'll do that one there too. That can go into there like that. Bring that into there. Oops. You feel like there's not enough room in there, but actually there's plenty of room. I've got one left, put that down into there, and I'll bring that into there because I've got two over this side. Now, getting on to the flowers, I've got these lovely hydrangeas, and now you can see why I'm using the fresh foam, because these will need a drink. So it's just a matter of going in between those, and I just love that beautiful green, and it's got that lovely little pink onto there. So if you're ever stuck not wanting to know what flowers to use or what colours, just look at what nature's done, who is the best colourist in the whole wide world. So we've got these pink peonies, and then we've got the little touches of pink on the side, which will be just perfect for what we're going to do, and incorporating those into there. And you've got the lovely leaves as well, which gives another form, which is going to visually make your work look more interesting. So we only need a few of those into there, and that there's just a little bit squashed, so I'll just lift that up, and I'll lift that up as well. There you go. How easy is that? In fact, I've got two left, so what I think I might do is I'll just bring that up a little bit higher, which visually is starting to make it look more interesting. And I've got a little void, as they call it in the profession there, so I'll just put that into there. Easy, easy, easy flowers. If I had more of those, I'd put them in, but hey, we're on a budget and who cares, that'll be just fine. Easy, easy flowers, and I just love what's happening down the bottom here with that lovely texture, which makes it that shabby chic look that you were looking for, Badia. Hope you've enjoyed that. I've enjoyed showing and sharing with you, and I will see you another day.